Welcome back. We now resume our exclusive interview with former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page, the man at the center of that just-released House Intel memo. Carter, when I saw that they started to listen in on your phone calls in October, that was after the Trump campaign had kind of put a termination on the relationship with you. I thought to myself, like, who wants to work in any campaign? If an individual, an American citizen, can be surveilled by the use of a dossier that was funded by the opponent, the political opponent, and they're all worried about Russia and their tactics? I mean, Russia does stuff like that, frankly, to their political opponents. But we're not supposed to do that. So your reaction when you found out that your calls at that point were surveilled?
Well, the funny part about it is literally 1 week later, after they started hacking and wiretapping me, one of the emails I sent out was filing a complaint to the Organization of Security and Cooperation in Europe. It's a organization that the U.S. and many other countries is a part of. They had an election monitoring system going on in the United States, monitoring illegal influence and election rigging. And I lodged a complaint there. And so I think one of the first things they were picking up on was my long complaint that I sent to Vienna in the OSCE. So it'd be interesting to hear what the reaction was to that when they.
When did you know, by the way, Carter, that you were of interest to the FBI? It predated the relationship with the Trump campaign. It predated that, according to the FBI. So when did you know? They ever call you up or try to talk to you or say, what are you doing over there in Russia? You're very well connected. Did they ever approach you?
I've talked to them. And I actually mentioned this. I sent a letter to Director Comey on Sunday, September 25th, 2016, 2 days after the defamatory articles came out against me. And I was, as I mentioned there, I basically told him everything is totally false. If you have any questions about this witch hunt, which is what I called it, please don't hesitate to contact me. I would love to set the record straight and talk with your agents. And as I mentioned in that memo to Mr. Comey, I said, well, I've been in contact with members of the intelligence community for many years, and I'd be happy to help out, again, in terms of providing you some accurate insights.
I mean, the way you are portrayed, and people who don't know you, I mean, I guess people just reading this quickly, headline readers, like, oh, Carter Page was a spy for Russia. I mean, well, that's what I think that's what just regular folks who aren't focusing on a lot of these details, that's what they believe. That's what they think.
I mean, that case, I was a witness to, there was a diplomat here in New York who I happened to meet at a conference, and we struck up a conversation. I met him one time after that, and I actually was teaching a course at New York University that semester, and I just told him a couple things I was telling my students about, and he wasn't really interested, and I sent him a couple of course documents. That was it.
I have a couple of questions for you, though. There's some things that I don't really make sense to me. Like, what about that letter that Time Magazine said you wrote to the academic press, and where they quote you as saying, over the past half year, I have had the privilege to serve as an informal advisor to the staff of the Kremlin in preparation for their presidency of the G20 summit next month, where energy issues will be prominent point on the agenda, the letter reads. Did you write that?
Well, it's totally taken out of context. I basically
what do you mean taken out of context? I would never say I had the privilege to serve as an informal advisor to the staff of the Kremlin. Like
the G20, President Trump was at the G20 last summer. It is a collection of countries from around the world.
Yeah, we all know that. But why would you write that?
I was offering, I was invited to provide some, they put together a roundtable of energy experts, literally people from around the world, top companies around the world, and I offered some insights.
It sounds like you were kind of, to me, it sounds like you were really, you're really close to the staff of the Kremlin there. I mean, the way it's worded, I mean, I wouldn't have worded it that way. And I think what happens is people see that, and then they say, well, he went to Moscow in July of 2016 to kind of speak at a university. But why would you do that when you were with the Trump campaign, and who signed off on it? And was it really a cover for a meeting with government officials? I know, that's what people think.
Well, but this is where context is important. Basically, it was some ignorant academic who, I submitted my, it was a copy of my thesis, and they were considering it at a academic press for publication. And, they're coming back at me, coming after me with all these false sort of false concepts about what's actually going on in, Russia and across Eurasia and across Middle East, Asia, Europe, and essentially having served and been part of that informal group, we had a couple of meetings. Big deal. No,
I got it. I think going to Moscow in July 2016, that you're just setting yourself up for scrutiny. I mean, did someone in the Trump campaign, did they okay you going? Did you ask them? I've seen varying accounts of that from you. Did someone say go for it, or
there was no go for it? Again, I was an informal, unpaid advisor, and
but did you tell anybody at the Trump campaign you were going?
Yeah, I mean, I've been grilled literally many hours on this in both chambers of Congress many times, and I gave them a heads up, and they said, it's fine to go, but you're have nothing to do with the Trump campaign as part of this.
And you're actually suing. Are you suing the federal government? I mean, I think you saw New York Times tonight is pushing for a release of all the underlying documents in your case. Are you in favor of that?
Absolutely. And actually, one of the articles that's mentioned in the House Intelligence memo from Friday, it references one article, and actually that was rebroadcast by a state propaganda agency in Washington. Broadcasting Board of Governors funds Radio Free Europe. And for the last 70 years, most of its history, it was supposed to be used for, offering ideas to countries around the world. They changed the law in 2013, and now they can push government propaganda in the U.S. So this was the first election where that ever happened. So, when Sean on his show was mentioning a list of questions as they kind of go to the next stage of this investigation, I think, and actually that's run by State Department.
Broadcasting Board of Governors, but they put that Yahoo News story out. But you're suing the Broadcast Board of Governors and who else? Very quickly.
Oath Inc., which is the parent company for Yahoo, and Huffington Post, which has a ton of articles.
Okay, Carter, we really appreciate your spending some time with us tonight. I know everybody was after an interview with you, but I just think an innocent American, I mean, from my understanding, is wrapped up in this whole thing, and I find the whole thing terrifying, and we wish you the best. So thank you so much for joining us.